soulful, because you get very wealthy at Netflix when you go over there and tell them that you've had a terrible time being raised as one of the most privileged people in the world and have now got nothing, absolutely nothing, stripped bare, no money, no prospects, no job, no life. But that's not the story, is it? Angela Levin is here. Angela, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
I mean, God save us from this melting pot of absolute garbage. I mean, who do they think they're kidding, these two?
Well, I do think they're kidding us. That's what is the strange thing. You know, Meghan's always talked about looking through things through her own lens.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't want the people to use that sort of saying, but she does that. But I think her lens is absolutely vulnerable and doesn't work properly in many, many areas. I mean, how can you say that about your brother-in-law or Harry's brother and absolutely try and decimate the royal family? It is beyond any imagination. And actually, I sort of look at Twitter a lot, and loads of people of different colours and different creeds are all saying, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
You know, if you really don't like someone, why don't you just step away? And Meghan says, you know, we wanted to build the home that we really did long for. Well, they've got it already, haven't they? It looks amazing. But leave the rest. But she can't. She's absolutely fixated on winning. But it's really wrong to imagine that if you insult people more and more and more, you will get them round to listen to you. It's quite the contrary. It's extraordinary. And one thing I wanted to say, which I didn't when I talked to you after last week's, was a very odd thing when they were sitting there at the beginning watching television and Meghan was being interviewed. It must be before the wedding or maybe not, who knows. And she said, who do you prefer the most, Prince William or Prince Harry? And she says, oh, I don't know. Now, can you imagine you put that in a Netflix documentary?
Yeah.
Harry's sitting by her. William's married, seemingly very happily, with nice children. How can you think that that's a good way to start a documentary? It's completely topsy-turvy land.
Well, it really is. And when you see poor old Harry, who seems to be so far under the spell that he can't even see his own ludicrousness, he's saying, I don't know what would have happened if we hadn't left when we did. Well, what does he mean by that? Does he mean that the royal family were going to kill him? Does he mean that, you know, there was some great terrible thing was about to befall the couple? You know, nothing would have happened if he hadn't done what he did.
Well, what it is that they're very cautious. You know, they never say who was going to attack them or what was going to happen. It's all about the possibilities. It's like having a nightmare dream that doesn't make sense. You've got little bits, but it doesn't all add up. But he has got to, his job, no longer Prince, his job is to agree with Meghan. That's his job. So you hear him telling lies, and you might believe them or not, but that's what he wants to do. But all these theys, who is it?
Yes.
Who are they? The royal family? Is it the paparazzi? Is it journalists? Is it the Mail, the Sun? I mean, you know, there's so many people who are they that they need to clarify it, but they never do that.
Well, no, because they deliberately like to sow the seeds of suspicion in people's minds. So they want you to be confused. They want you to not be sure whether it's the royal family. I mean, are they really seriously expecting us to believe that if they had remained at the Kensington Palace home that they were gifted by the British taxpayer, after all, that they would have been in some kind of mortal danger, that they were not being allowed to have a life in the royal family, which is also nonsense. All of the stuff she talks about, passports being taken away, all rubbish. You know, not being allowed to do anything, also rubbish. You know, him saying that, you know, the bodyguards were all being taken away, also rubbish. It's all rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we have to think with Harry that he has not recovered from his mother's death.
No.
He's had all these mental health help that anyone could imagine, and he's still terrified that what happened to his mother is going to happen to him. Now, surely with so many experts around and so much money to spare, he could get somebody who could really help him, so he could see things through a proper lens, not through a completely damaged one. I just felt sorry that he feels that his duty now is to smash his own family without thinking of the long-term results. And actually, I think he's a very, very scared man. He's scared in case he loses Meghan, if he doesn't agree with everything she says, or gives her everything she wants, or tells her, you know, in one of these stories that, you know, you look at the mirror and you say, aren't I the greatest, most beautiful, most clever person in the land? And the mirror comes back and says, it's Snow White, isn't it? The mirror comes back and says, yes, you are. I think she's one of those sort of people.
Yeah. No, I think it's terribly sad, but I think he's a very selfish individual as well, because he's giving no thought, as you say, to his family, to his brother. You know, I said last night on the talk, it's a bit like, you know, Merry Christmas, Dad. What a present to give to your father, the King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The King, who happens to be your father, and you are trashing not only him, but the memory of his mother, the Queen, who was a fantastic leader and stateswoman for this country. I mean, I just find it quite disgraceful what he's doing.
Yeah, there's two things. One, he's too scared. And the second is that there's been pieces written by expert royal people who say that once they've got over this, they're going to make amends with the royal family.
I mean, think so.
That's a joke, isn't it? If somebody behaved like that to you, you wouldn't want them to say, OK, that's done now. We've had our say. We spent 3 years taking pictures often where we shouldn't. Well, let's be friends. I think that's all just a suggestion that they want to come to the coronation.
I don't see how they can. I really don't. I mean, we don't know what the absolute ins and outs of the next 3 episodes will be, but the trailer would suggest that they're going to be even more unkind and even more indiscreet, if you like, but also they'll be making accusations they won't be able to back up.
Yeah, but they don't mind back. There's no such thing as back up with them. It's just they make the thing, these suggestions, and you have to believe it, because Meghan is always right. But also what's very interesting, I don't know if you've noticed or read, that Netflix took out a bit of the Queen's speech that she gave in 1947 when she said that she would work for them for all her life. And she said, for the people and for the Commonwealth. And they took out the bit about for the people. So it was just about the Commonwealth, which then was a nice lead in to people saying that this is an empire part 2. You know, I don't know that you can do that.
No. Well, Netflix,
Netflix are on their side.
Yeah. Well, also Netflix have been playing fast and loose with facts with the Crown for an entire, you know, sort of lifetime, really. So they're absolutely at ease with just making stuff up, sensationalising facts and inventing storylines. And it's exactly what they're doing here.
Yeah, but this is a documentary of 2 people who are desperate to get their fears across. You can't then just cut out pieces from the Queen's speech, the most important speech she ever made when she was so young and became Queen. You know, I think it really turns your stomach.
Yeah, I think it really does, and I think most people's stomachs will be turned, and I think an awful lot of people already are fed up to the back teeth, having had a look at the first 3 episodes, which I refuse to watch, by the way, and I won't watch the next 3 either. They've just had enough. You know, there's more important stuff going on. There's strikes everywhere. There's snow everywhere. You can't get to see your family. You know, nobody cares about these whining nobodies, really.
I can't see that, you see. That's why the crooked lens, they can't see that. I'm going to watch it, not because I want to, because it's a bit of my job.
Well, you have to, yeah. No, this is why we like to talk to you, because in fact I've got a note here from Chris who says, "Afternoon, Mike, can I just thank you for performing a huge public service by talking about Harry and Meghan and telling us all about their nonsense so that we haven't got to waste our time watching their drivel. And please thank Angela as well." So you're doing a public service, Angela, so keep doing it.